His stardom confirmed.
A final stroke of genius from Scottie Scheffler, who collected 7 birdies en route to his second green jacket. His wife Meredith watching from home, but still surrounded by loved ones. And a man who loves to share his greatness does just that. Coming off the 72nd hole, Scheffler, masterful in his win. For more, we head out to Augusta National, where CBS Sports golf analysts Kyle Porter and Rick Gehman are standing by. Fellas, a week where we may have known the outcome, but what a route to get there. Kyle, I'm going to go to you first here. As our resident historian, this was history on Sunday. How do you place it?
Joining a list of guys that have won 2 Masters by age 27, Tiger, Jack, Seve, and now Scottie Scheffler. Those aren't just like greats of the game. Those are all-time figures of the game. And I think, Rick, you and I have been talking about this all week. I think Scottie's trajectory, at least right now, things happen very quickly in golf. We could be saying this time next year, Scottie's lost, he's in the wilderness, whatever. I think right now, Scottie Scheffler's trajectory is as one of the 15 or 20 best golfers of all time. That sounds crazy. It sounds like I'm out over my skis, but this is not a reaction to this Masters. It's a reaction to the trajectory that he's been on for at least 2 years now. And this Masters is just sort of confirmation. What did Jim Nantz say? Confirmation of his stardom.
Yeah.
What was
Stardom confirmed.
Stardom confirmed, right. And so this to me is like, yeah, this is the trajectory for Scottie Scheffler over the next 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, we were at dinner last night trying to figure out what the absolute highest possible ceiling for Scottie Scheffler could be. Whatever I said last night, double it, because that's how I feel right now. You know, this was so impressive, Joe. You mentioned it. You know, we, quote, knew this result was coming.
Yeah.
Everybody knew this was coming. He was a formidable favorite, but to go out and actually do it convincingly and stand resolute through Amen Corner when everybody else is falling down around you, this was a 4-way tie with 10 to play.
Yep.
He won by 4.
And beat everybody else by 7.
I mean, that's unbelievable. And to open up that type of gap on some of the other greatest players in the world just proves how stellar Scottie is. I mean, he never once blinked. He answered every single question. I am so looking forward to what the rest of the year looks like slam-wise, what the rest of Scottie's career looks like, because I'm all in right now.
Yeah, it was amazing to watch him go about his business this week, and the inevitability of it all on display again here down the stretch. Rick, this is the first time since Tiger in '05 that a pre-tournament favorite went on to win the tournament. To meet and exceed expectation is one thing, but to seemingly always do it when the moment is greatest. How does Scottie Scheffler manage to do that time and again?
It is so difficult to be the favorite and win a golf tournament. So difficult to win a golf tournament in general. And he did it in basically, I know it wasn't technically wire to wire, but he was in the mix after every single round. So, I mean, this was the full-on treatment of being involved and engaged for the full week to get your second Masters title. The thing here, KP, is he has long been the best tee to green player in the world.
Yeah.
Long been. And he has now unlocked the putting side of things, which is what he did really well when he started winning the first time. When he won 4 out of 6 starts and it was his first 4 events, he putted beautifully. Ever since switching to that mallet-style putter, he's gone win, second, win. I mean, it is just a completely different guy. Throw in the confidence, throw in the game plan, throw in the everything else that comes along with what he's got going on, and it's just impossible to stop.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that about throwing all these other things in, because that to me is what makes Scottie Scheffler so special. There's guys that have been kind of close to him in terms of iron play, in terms of tee to green play, in terms of ball striking. He's got obviously special gifts, but I think it's everything around that. The way he manages golf courses, the way he sticks to his game plan, how disciplined he is, how content he is with who he is as a golfer and as a person on and off the course. I think all of that plays into what Scottie Scheffler is, which is, to me, by far the #1 player in the world. Like, it's more definitive than it's been over the last 10 or 15 years, and perhaps, Joe, the best player, not not comparing him to Tiger, but the best player since Tiger. I think that's a conversation that he is starting to enter with this most recent Players Championship and this Masters win.
And I think we saw it again here as he comes off the 72nd, his desire to share his greatness with others. Scottie was without the one that he credited his first win at the Masters to, his wife Meredith. My mind immediately goes to the next closest in proximity, that being Ted Scott, who will claim his 4th flag from the 72nd hole as a caddy at the Masters, 2 with Bubba, 2 now with Scottie. KP, what has Ted Scott meant to the ascent of Scottie Scheffler? This started just a handful of years ago in Phoenix in 2022.
Yeah, he's been amazing. I remember we were talking, I think it was a couple days ago, Rick, about we did a podcast. He lost, I believe it was the 2021 Houston Open.
Right.
He was kind of close to getting his first win on the PGA Tour, and he lost it. And I remember we did a podcast, and we were kind of like, when's this guy ever going to win? and now it's like, when's this guy ever going to lose?
Please stop
right?
winning.
And I think you have to credit at least some of that to Ted Scott. I do want to pull real quick from what you said right there, Joe. The family stuff at the end, him kind of waving Ted Scott forward and saying, hey, walk through this tunnel of people to the scoring hut with me. That's emblematic of who Scottie Scheffler is. I had a conversation with Rory McIlroy a couple years ago, and he said, man, not only is Scottie the best, but his whole family is awesome. Like, they're just really great people, and it makes him, Rick, you know, we don't know these guys, but it makes him, at least from afar, really easy to root for.
It is so important to have a great support system out here, whether that is your caddy, whether it is your partner, whether it's your family, whatever it is. This is a very lonely game.
Yeah.
You know, you're on the road 25, 26 weeks a year. You're in a different city, potentially a bunch of different countries throughout the year. Things go sideways, and you're wondering why you're doing this. Should I make changes? Should I do X, Y, and Z? Having a support system, especially a great caddy, because that's probably the guy you see the most. I'm sure he sees Ted Scott as much, if not more, than he sees Meredith with how often he's at the golf course. It's critical, and I think that's why you see, especially recently, we've had a bunch of stars change caddies. Like, they're looking for the right voice. They've been changing coaches. They're looking for whatever combination it is that unlocks the optimal side of things. Scottie has certainly unlocked the optimal side of things.
We've said it before, it is an individual pursuit, but if you can surround yourself with others that share in that greatness, we have seen it play out in real time here with Scottie Scheffler on Sunday once again. There were others performing to the nth degree, and my mind immediately goes to Ludwig Åberg. I mean, first major, first Masters, comes out and does what he did. I'm not sure if you guys caught it in tracking him throughout the day, but he ate a 7-course meal while on course. It was unbelievable, just the flippantness with which he went about his business. And here, in his first start, a solo second. Rick, as you assess what this meant to his trajectory, maybe not that of Scottie Scheffler, obviously, but this was a big day in the story of Ludwig Åberg.
Of course it was. And I did see him munching something, maybe a sandwich up 14. I didn't realize that might have been his.
He was all over the place.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Stay full, stay energized. Well, here's the thing: if we lived in a universe where Scottie Scheffler doesn't exist, Ludwig Åberg just won the Masters by 3 shots. I mean, he lapped the field. His first major championship on a golf course that we have spoken so many times about the need for experience, the nuance, the all of that, and Ludwig said, no, it's okay, watch this. And what I loved KP the most, yes, he rinsed one on 11. And I was standing there on the fairway of 11. The wind was very difficult to figure out. Max Homa took honestly an egregious amount of time to wait it out and get it right. Ludwig rinses it, makes double, and immediately gets both of them back. Yeah. I mean, he is just unflappable. I'm running out of adjectives, and we're not even a year into his professional career.
Yeah, he's amazing. He actually reminds me, this is a weird comp, Joe, but he reminds me a little bit of Alex Honnold, who's the rock climber, the free soloist, who just almost doesn't seem to feel fear in ways that other guys do. Max Homa and Scottie Scheffler have talked a lot about leaning into nerves, leaning into fear. And with Ludwig, it's like, I don't know that there's anything to lean into. It just, I don't know that it's actually there. I was standing next to him and caddy Joe Scovron on the 15th hole today, and they were kind of behind a tree up the left side. They needed 3. They needed an eagle there to kind of get back in it. and they're just sitting there giggling about something. And you're like, man, this is the most 15th hole Sunday at the Masters. You're in it. You need something special. It's the most intense moment of the year, ostensibly. And they're just sitting there giggling. And it's like, this dude is different. And I mean, he's different in the way he thinks, but he's also different in the way he strikes the ball, which is something that he did unbelievably all week here at Augusta National.
Maybe freedom in the sense that Secretariat was already off and running out in front of you. You could live in that moment and do everything you can. Scottie Scheffler, again, a champion here at the Masters. Before we go, fellas, I like to put you on the spot after these majors when you've taken it all in. Kyle Porter, your lasting image of the 88th playing of the Masters is what?
Well, I think it's Scottie walking to, calling Ted Scott up to walk with him through the tunnel. I thought that was really special. I'll probably write something about that. And I think, rolling it forward, Rick, I think the Scottie Slam is in play. I mean, he won the Players and the Masters. We've got 3 more big ones the rest of the year. I think that's definitely on the table right now.
Yeah, you think he was a big favorite to win the Masters? Wait until you see the odds for the other 3 majors. There's 2 things here. I think these patrons out at Augusta National are incredibly knowledgeable and incredibly respectful of history, right? It's really cool to see guys get ovations as they step onto tee boxes and as they're walking up fairways, and they're urging you along every step of the way. And then the course always steals the show here, Joe. And I love, this time of night when those shadows start to set and you can really see the terrain and the way that things move out here without any tricks, without any, souped up tiger proofing. It's just a golf course that uses the terrain to beat you up. And what was it? Only 8 guys who finished under par this week. And it, shined once again for 4 days.
Kyle Porter, Rick Gehman from Augusta National. Fellas, couple deep breaths, go take it all in. The final moments there as the sun sets on the Masters. Thank you, gentlemen. And the conversation always continues on the First Cut podcast. Kyle Porter, Rick Gehman, the whole gang taking you under the ropes and into the action each and every week on tour. A Masters review coming up on the First Cut podcast.